Hello, welcome back to my channel. We've got a grocery pickup this morning, and I'm also gonna walk you through my version of meal prep. And it's not going to be what you expect, most likely. I know if you hear the word meal prep, you might picture like the cliche influencer fitness gym bro version with Tupperware all over the place, eating the same meal 7 days a week. And if that style works for you, cool, but does not work for me. I don't want to spend my entire weekend meal prepping, and I also like to have a lot of variety each day. And you know, as an intuitive eater too, I tend to choose what I want to eat right before I eat it based on what sounds good, how much I want to eat. Having every single meal planned and prepped out just wouldn't work for my lifestyle. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys my easier version that allows me to be prepared for the week while also being able to eat intuitively. My grocery pickup isn't scheduled until 9 a.m. and it's currently 4 o'clock in the morning because I could not sleep. I've been up since 2. So I just had my breakfast and now we're gonna make some coffee, and then I'll probably just like read my book until it's time to get groceries. We're doing a cold brew today because I'm out of milk and I can't do my lattes. Also, I like cold brew, so it's fine. Gonna add white chocolate raspberry creamer today. We're gonna froth a little bit in this little glass and have a little cold foam cold brew. Ross and I have bought the same brand of cold brew for like 3 years, and we always have it on tap in this little like dispenser thing. If you are wanting to make good cold brew at home, highly recommend. I will link them below. Time for the best part. Starbucks who? For those of you following along on my book reading journey, I started reading Crescent City the other day. I got through 7 chapters of that 800-page book and I had to not finish it. It was just like so much info dumping. It was so boring. I couldn't get into it at all. And I know people are probably gonna say, oh, just keep reading, it gets better. I was already like 200 pages in. I didn't wanna keep reading, not enjoying myself, for it to maybe get a little bit better. Like I'm reading for fun. And if it's not fun, I don't wanna read it, you know? So I am gonna try A Court of Thorns and Roses, or whatever it's called, the very popular one, all over TikTok and YouTube. And we'll see if I like that one. I might try audiobook because I actually ended up canceling my hold at the library because I was so mad at the other book by the same author. I'm gonna try listening to it and see if that helps. But for now, I know I like Harry Potter, at least I have so far. I am reading all the books for the first time, if you didn't know. And I'm on the 3rd one, so I will likely be reading that, have my coffee, and then we will head to the store to get our grocery pickup in a little bit. The best part about doing grocery pickup is I get to bring my best friend. Are we going Bye-Byes? Oh, it's so much fun. Okay, let's do it. We're back at home. Today's haul is not super big. Today was really just a restock of a lot of produce, really. We already have meat in the freezer that I'm gonna pull out as part of the meal prep. Let's start with our produce. Got some cilantro. I finally got Ross into sweet potatoes. He's like suddenly enjoying them, and I love them too. So I got a bunch of those, as well as regular potatoes. I'm thinking about doing stuffed baked potatoes this week. It's gonna be so good. Potatoes get so much hate from diet culture. It's kind of crazy because potatoes are actually super nutrient dense, especially if you eat the peel. But even if you don't, the flesh inside of both a sweet potato and a white potato, so good for you. But the internet hates carbs, and they also love to pick and choose foods to demonize, so we're used to the potato hate by now. I also got sumo oranges. They were a good deal, so I got 2 of them. And then I did actually get Cara oranges too, which are my favorite type of oranges aside from the sumos. But the Caras are much sweeter than like a navel orange, if you ask me. So lots of citrus this week. Also got some strawberries, also a good deal. I will probably just dice these up as part of meal prep and throw them in like oatmeal, and if I don't get to them all, I'll freeze them for smoothies. A couple avocados to just throw on top of certain dishes, and then our favorite apples that I can only ever find at Kroger, opal apples, the best. As for dairy, got some plain Greek yogurt, for smoothies. We use it as like a sour cream on quesadillas, tacos. Will also be great on our stuffed potatoes this week. Milk, mostly for my lattes. I did do a cheese restock this week. Colby Jack, cheddar jack, shredded Colby Jack, and some Colby Jack string cheese or cheese sticks. Can you tell our favorite kind of cheese is Colby Jack? Also in the dairy department, some butter. My mom always gets Kerrygold butter, and I used to not get it because it is a little more pricey than just like regular butter. But ever since I've started buying this, Ross and I just like can't turn back. It's just so much tastier than like regular sticks of butter. I did also get some more bread flour for my sourdough. Also, I'm almost out of canola oil. I use this mostly for popcorn or any other time I need just like a neutral oil with like a high smoke point, but popcorn's kind of the biggest reason why I use that, and I'm almost out, so needed a restock. I like to get Kroger's mild buffalo sauce. I was planning on making buffalo chicken quesadillas this week, and this one is not spicy at all, which is good for me because I love the taste of buffalo sauce, but I don't have a high spice tolerance. Also restocked on some black beans that we're almost out of, refried beans, and enchilada sauce. We had enchiladas this week, and I wanted to restock the sauce that I used for the next occasion that we have enchiladas. We go through tortillas like nobody's business. Ross's favorite bread, always have that on hand for his sandwiches that he likes to make. We also cheat the system and get taco seasoning a lot of the time. So a restock of that. I usually do get the reduced sodium if I can find it. And then lastly here, our fun little snacks. I got the best flavor of pretzel ever. I usually don't like hard pretzels because they're just so boring, but these, oh, they're so flavorful. Okay, controversial opinion. I might like these more than Dots pretzels. I know, I'm sorry. I know Dots pretzels has a very firm fan base and they are really good, but these might be better. And then some knockoff Ruffles. Ripples is Kroger's version, evidently. Those will be great for just snacks or like a side to a sandwich or whatever. So yeah, not a super big haul today. Mostly just a restock of some basics. I'm gonna get the cold stuff put away, and then we're gonna do a little bit of what we call ingredient prep. Prepare to be underwhelmed because, like I said, my version of meal prep is nothing spectacular. We're literally just gonna cut up some fruits and veggies. Like I said, I like to do ingredient prep where I have all the ingredients ready to throw a meal or a snack together, but I'm not usually like preparing a full meal and doing a lot of like actual cooking. I usually do that on the day of. But if you're someone who would benefit from having things already made, so all you gotta do is reheat it, Godspeed. But for me, I usually make the meal the day of, have leftovers for lunch the next day, and breakfast is kind of just whatever. Sometimes I'll prep like some chia seed pudding. I might actually do some chia seed pudding today. That sounds really good. So I might actually prep some of that for breakfast. As you'll come to see, it's gonna be very simple. Let's start with veggies though. We're gonna wash and chop all the different fruits and veg. I got these peppers the last time I went to the grocery store. I was gonna use them for stuffed peppers, but then I just ended up not using them for stuffed peppers. I might just wash them and cut them and use them for like snacks. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Always need a scrap bowl. Normally I would dice up some onion too, but I actually already did that yesterday for a meal that I made. We're not even like cutting this into small pieces. We are just like putting these big old chunks into this bowl. So when it's time to eat them or add them to a dish, we just grab them out of there. I will see these in my fridge and it will just be so much easier to grab them and use them. All right, we are gonna do the same with this cilantro. Gonna rinse it off and cut it up. When I cut up fresh herbs, I like to put them in a mason jar with a towel on the bottom. I don't know if this is like a real thing. I'm not a chef, but it seems to help with moisture control. Just a rough chop. There is no need to try to do it perfectly. It's okay if some stems are in there. Like, there are more important things to stress out about, if you ask me. Voila. The last thing we need to wash and cut is these strawberries. Also gonna add these raspberries to the mix from when I went to the store last time. Just gonna put them all together. When you wash berries, it can go bad pretty fast because of all the extra moisture that just sits in there. So if you're not gonna get through these quickly, don't wash them yet. You could chop them and then just wash them when you're ready to eat them. I go through them pretty quick, so I'm just gonna wash them now. That way they're literally just in the fridge and I can just pop them in my mouth or on a plate, on my chia seed pudding, whatever. I also put a towel on the bottom of my container for berries too. These are pretty good strawberries considering it's March and they're not really in season yet. And considering a 16-year-old boy probably picked these out. I've seen some like meal prep influencers on TikTok and stuff who will do the whole like baking soda and vinegar and let them soak and here's all the bugs that come out of it. First of all, quick science lesson, baking soda and vinegar are just neutralizing each other. Water gets the job done. It's the same group of people who say our ancestors drank raw milk, so we should drink raw milk. Like, which germs do you care about and which germs do you not care about? I'm very confused. You also don't need to buy any like special fruit wash. If you want to, that's fine, but you don't have to. That'll do, donkey, that'll do. Highly recommend these lids for mason jars. They have like a little suction, so they're airtight. We'll link them below. I also use these Pyrex containers for everything. Let's make our chia seed pudding and then call it a day, shall we? Super easy. We're gonna do 1 cup of milk. I haven't tried making this with other types of milk, but I'm guessing you totally could. I'm gonna do it in this little container. I usually will do it in like a mason jar, but I don't have any clean. I'm gonna add some vanilla extract, about a teaspoon. I don't know. Vanilla you always measure with your heart. Same with garlic. You just don't measure those things. You just throw them in there. And then finally, 4 tablespoons of chia seeds. I'm about out. Hopefully I have 4 tablespoons here. We're gonna be cutting it close. All right, we're just gonna dump it all in there. And then we mix. I have found that if you mix it until it starts to get a little bit, like the chia seeds start to get a little bit immersed, it tends to help it like form evenly. Oh, I almost forgot. I'm also gonna add a little splash of liquid stevia. You could do like any sweetener you want, like honey, maple syrup, or you could do no sweetener. I like to have this with yogurt and berries. If you are pretty sensitive with textures, tread lightly with this. It may be a nightmare for you. There we have it, y'all. Simple ingredient prep, under 30 minutes. If you guys like this video, let me know. We could always do like a meal prep series, or I could just like show you all these different versions of meal prep in under 30 minutes. Intuitive eating edition. Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe so you do know when I post a new grocery haul, meal prep video, full day of eating, what have you. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you next time.